All right, everybody, welcome to Evolution and Recoveries podcast. We got Brian Marzulli here today. Like I always say, dude, please subscribe, hit the bell notification. What we got set up today is we're actually doing we're trying to get the Spotify thing up too. So we're on point with that. I think we're going to have that ready for next time. So we'll have Spotify too. So you're going to be Brian Marzulli is going to be the first Spotify guest, dude, for the show.
Honored.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
dude, we're just trying, dude. We're trying to get the word out there. I like to pick people that come on that, I see around and definitely see that are doing the right thing, helping a lot of people, changing their life around because of what they're doing. And a lot of it has to do with the stuff that you're doing. The stuff that keeps you sober is the stuff that you do for other people, and I see
Absolutely.
that, you know what I mean? The other day, he chaired I had 12 years. I wind up speaking a week later for my 12 years, but he wind up chairing the meeting, which was cool. It was cool stuff. But anyway, with that being said, though, I don't want to talk about what Brian does. We're going to get into everything, and like I always say, everything is raw, real. I'm talking like this all the time, every episode, because, dude, I have no idea what I'm going to say. Like, I don't pre-plan shit. I have a couple questions and shit that you can't see right here. There's a green screen behind, and that's as far as it goes. Besides that, I just run it all for the hip because I want it to be as genuine as possible. Yeah. There's probably going to be stuff that I want to ask you. Who knows what it'll be? You know what I mean? But I know you're all for it, and because it's all for a good cause. But I'm going to let him tell his story, and I'm going to be asking him stuff. And so anyway, how do you feel about being on the show? That's what I really like. I always ask everybody that because it is different. I mean,
it's different. Why not? I figured another avenue. Maybe somebody I say or something I say hits somebody that normally I wouldn't cross paths with, and I think it's another good outlet to just share my experience. That's all. Yeah, I didn't know what to think, so I'm excited, really? Kind of nervous, kind of all mixed together, but in a good way.
Yeah. Now you own a construction company. I'm going to get right to that, right to the rip with that though, because right before we started, I asked him. I said, "How much time does he have exactly?" He said, "Like 2 years and 8 months." But you also started a construction company with a friend of yours.
Yeah.
That you actually got sober with.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
BC Home Remodeling.
BC Home Remodeling. So yeah. I guess that would be Brian and Chris,
Brian
right?
And Chris.
I'm gonna talk for him a little bit on that.
Very original.
Because I want to let everybody know I know Chris too now. But yeah. So you said B and C.
Yeah, BC Home Remodeling.
BC, just
yep.
BC.
All yep. Right. And he was actually my old house manager.
Okay.
And we just kind of hit it off from day one. To where, I don't know. I guess when I walked in the door, they talk about alcohol being the great persuader, right? Fortunately, I was still kind of smashed and I had no idea. And this guy just had he had a good presence about him. And he just, I didn't listen to his mouth so much. And I just liked the way he moved and what he was doing. He actually picked me up from when I got dropped off out here. And I first thought he was staff.
Okay.
And then when I found out he was just, another one of us living in the house doing the...
He was just a manager of the house or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just got close.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good shit. Now, with you do everything though, right? With that work, you're doing everything.
Pretty much, yeah. I got a background in, I had a lot of jobs. So
yeah, but you're a plumber though too.
Yeah.
So that helps with doing the bathrooms and kitchens.
Yeah, so we specialize in bathrooms and kitchens and stuff. Do what you know kind of thing. I'm very, very familiar with all those layouts and what problems could occur and what's going on, and one of those kind of things. So.
Is there a special cabinet place you go to like that, or you just do it yourself? You get them yourself. You do it.
No, it depends. We just got. It depends on the size of the project.
I'm trying to advertise for you a little bit. I am though, because some people will be like for instance, when I got my, I used A&P, from Passion Cab to get my cabinets, good quality, this and that. They have different varieties, lower grade, higher grade, stuff like that. I know I'm talking about construction work right now. But there's a reason why I am, because actually, I value you as a person, and I support what you're doing because you're sober. You're you got sober, and now you're actually doing your own thing. Instead of working for somebody, which is if you did work for somebody, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm not saying nothing about that, but anything is possible, and that's what this show is about. That's
Mhm.
the show is about, like, people that, you know, get sober, they don't know what way their life's going, and then they stay around, they go to meetings, they get a sponsor, they start changing things about themselves, they get interact, they start being nicer to people, which helps them in return, and then their lives can change around, and, you know, whatever. We'll get into your story, but so you got this construct. Business is good. You're booked up. I know that, right?
Business is
So
good.
how
Yeah.
far are you booked out?
We're out through March right now. So,
Yeah,
2-3 months in advance. And
yeah.
good
Good
enough for
stuff.
me. Yeah.
All right, good stuff. So BC, construction,
Home
right?
remodeling.
Home remodeling. I'm sorry, BC home remodeling. You got a website, anything like that, or nah?
In the works.
In the works. All
In
right,
the works.
cool.
Yeah.
So soon we'll have it. You'll be able to look it up, stuff like that, and he'll be advertising on Facebook.
We do have. Sorry to interrupt. We do have an Instagram.
Do
It's
you?
just BC
Okay.
Home Remodeling. Yeah.
And what do you show stuff that you're doing and all in there?
Yep.
Like work
yeah.
that you've done?
Completed projects, things,
Right.
different aspects, different stuff we're, willing to do.
Yeah. So check them out on Instagram. All right. So check us out too. Also, Evolution and Recovery, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Follow Evolution and Recovery's Facebook page if you can. That would support and help a lot. Also, please go on with YouTube. The thing is having subscribers. If, like, after we do Brian with the subscribers, if you tell people, like, say 5 people, and then they tell people, that's how things get out there. We also did the funny reels and stuff like that. I'm not going to do them all the time. I just figured it would be good for the people that did subscribe, that were on there, to laugh, what I mean? And put them on TikTok and stuff like that. They didn't go viral. They didn't go nothing. And that ain't the whole purpose of this, is to go viral. But it is also to, like you said, if it helps somebody, that's what the main ticket is. You know what I mean? If you could say one thing, dude, that could change somebody's life forever, dude, that's phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And I know that sounds like crazy, but the truth is fentanyl is killing people. So a lot of things are killing people. It ain't even just fentanyl, but I'm just saying, if you could say one thing and one person's life could change forever, and they'll be like, yo, I remember like 20 years ago, I heard you say something, dude, and it made me think, and I start doing this. And then a lot of other things happen as a chain reaction to it. That's what this show is for. So anyway, so where did you grow up though? Like, where are you from, actually?
I actually grew up in there's a little town called Browns Mills out in South Jersey. It's in the middle of the Pinelands.
Right.
And it was, it's like 2 little pockets of, one neighborhood here. I was in Presidential Lakes, and the other one was Country Lakes.
Okay.
And there's a couple miles of woods in between, and it was unique. I had a lot of fun.
Unique in what way?
Because we got just the people who came in here. It was so we're close to the shore, so you get a lot of the shore people coming, and then we're right next to Fort Dix military base, so you get a lot of military coming in, and then you just have your Pineys.
Okay, what's that? Pineland people?
Yeah,
they're called Pineys.
Yeah, they call them Pineys out there, and
sounds like a beer or something you drink in
It's
Ireland.
like it's like their version of like a hillbilly, woods guy, redneck, whatever you want to use. But it was always a very cool mix of people, because you get the absolute woods people, and then you get the military people, and just those two blending was.
So
fun.
You were a Piney.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. You played in the woods, all that kind of.
I grew up in the woods, man.
Really?
I didn't have, I didn't have like cities and stuff. Like when we were bored, we threw mattresses in the middle of the woods and jumped off tree branches and played, wrestling with each other. You go
on the mattresses in the woods.
Really? Yeah. And those are like a little makeshift rig.
Did you ever jump on a mattress that was wet from the rain the day before?
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Yeah,
but it didn't stop us.
No.
We're young. We didn't care. Yeah, a lot of dirt bike riding, a lot of paintballing, a lot of out and about kind of things.
That sounds cool to me. I seeing Clearfield. There used to be this old mail, like it was a mail postal place that shut down, and they had like hooks in there where they would put the mail on there and send it down to other people. Anyway, long story short, we would go on trash day. I'm talking little kids, dude, and drag all these mattresses through rocks, dirt, glass, all the shit, pile them up with whatever on them, mattresses, because they're mattresses, and dude, we would jump on them, and I didn't even hear about bed bugs back then, but
yeah, I didn't know what they were either.
Yeah, I mean, dude, so we were, and it was in North Philly, Kensington, whatever you want, seeing Clearfield's more Kensington borderline, you know, but still, yeah, it was dirty as shit, dude. We
Yeah.
were dirt ball little kids.
Oh yeah.
And I loved every bit of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd go home like straight like brown from dirt, dust.
Yeah.
Everything.
Where we were at was like close to like all the cranberry bogs and stuff, and Ocean Spray headquarters actually is not too far from there. But
Really?
so a lot of the
What, Ocean Spray is in Jersey? That you're talking about the cranberry juice?
and like Greenbank, I don't know if it's the main headquarters,
Oh.
but it's one of their main
Yeah,
distributions, or at least it used to be. But
I didn't know that.
there's a lot of blueberry fields, cranberry bogs, things like that, and like we had lakes where you go, you know, you just go swimming and you come out with a skin condition. Like,
Really?
yeah.
Right.
But you know, we didn't care.
I got a skin condition. That's probably what happened to me. I got patches all over. It looks like in the summer I get tan.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? The Delaware River I swam in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Penn Treaty Park, dude, for life, baby. Woo! Right next to the Pico building. I probably got like radiation and all kinds of. I remember to be like logs of shit floating by me and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like bad. Yeah. You know, but anyway, and then there'd be like people like whoever them people were like fishing for catfish and eating them.
Yeah.
Like right there with logs of shit floating by me and.
Good.
Yeah,
pass.
Yeah. Delaware River's dirty as shit.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
For sure.
But so what? So you're in Jersey and you're like, I mean, paintballing and all that. That sounds good. You drove 4-wheelers. You like that?
Yeah.
Shit like that?
Yeah, that was a lot of our. You know, we didn't have anything to go out and do. There was nothing to do. Like Wawa was 20 minutes away.
Really?
You know.
Damn.
So yeah, we get cruise the guys after school and like 4-wheelers, bikes, whatever you got, just come out in the woods. We have pit fires, tire fires, whatever you can burn in the middle, and you know it used to be. It's like all abandoned sand, like mining pits that had been closed for years, and you know there's one that filled in with water, and we called it Blue Hole. That's where you went swimming.
Really?
It's like but yeah, a lot of wood stuff, man.
It's like a natural spring.
Yeah, exactly.
Without the spring.
Yeah.
Without the fresh water.
Yeah, without the fresh water.
Yeah.
Because that was closer to like out toward Tabernacle. And water's not the groundwater.
Where's it at? Down near Egg Harbor, like that way?
Yeah, close like Manahawkin.
I used to. Is that off of the Black Horse?
So I was closer to like Route 70.
Yeah.
If you shoot straight out, like before you get to like Manahawkin, LBI, just right off to the side there.
You know, I'm trying to. I don't even know where the hell. I don't know. My
Whiting, Chatsworth, like that area, Tabernacle. So it's like 20 minutes past Medford if you're going east.
Yeah. That's up north, ain't it though? Medford.
It's like
Medford Lakes. I
Yeah.
think at a country club or some shit like that, or
it's a nice area. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff out there.
there's rattlesnakes out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, timber rattlers they call them.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
Timber rattlers, copperheads.
Listen to this. This is a crazy ass story, dude. So I'm doing HVAC. They sent me to Medford Lakes. It's like a place where they throw parties or something. I don't know. It's like a thing over there.
Oh yeah.
So I got to go in the attic. So I'm up there, and the condensation line. Every once in a while, people. You ever see like on soda machines? They use that like it looks like netted hose, like plastic. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, dude, I'm going through the attic, and there's insulation and shit, and I'm trying to fix this air conditioning unit. So I see the netted hose, another netted hose, and then I start to realize, yo, bro, these ain't netted hoses. This is snake skin. These are rattler snakes.
Yeah.
Listen, dude. So there was an article on the news. So I called a dude. I'm like, I get down. I'm in. I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
I called my boss. I'm like, yo, there's snakes. He what? I said, there's snakes or something, dude. I'm not going up there. So he calls me back like the end of the day. This is early in the morning. He called, yo, he goes, yo, the exterminator came. All the snakes are out. I said, dude, I ain't going up there anyway. Oh, you're really not? I said, no, dude. Dude, that night, dude, there was a thing, dude. They were infested with rattler snakes.
Oh wow.
Rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
So I called a dude that I work with, and I said, yo, dude, I'm not going in there. He goes, what? I said, there's rattler snakes. He said, dude, it's called a rattlesnake. I said, rattle. I am not dying from
whatever it is. I ain't going in there.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I was scared as fuck. Dude, scared. I almost fell down getting down and all. I was scared to death. I'm scared of chihuahuas, bro.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times by a pit bull.
Attics, crawl spaces, it's doing like service work and this and that, raccoons, possums, and it's like, you know, you crawl in, you army crawl in, and you hear just that nasty possum growler, nasty. Like the
Yeah.
raccoons are even worse. They got
Yeah.
attitude, bro. And it's like I hear that and back right out. Like, nope, you gotta handle that. I'm not messing with that.
Yeah, I don't deal with foreign
No,
animals.
no.
Like,
Forget
you know what I
that.
mean, John? You ever deal with a foreign animal? You ever wrestle a raccoon?
Nah, not recently.
Nah. You always try to add John in. Yeah, John's over there. He's on his phone. He ain't paying attention to shit we're saying.
I'm hearing everything.
Oh, are you? You with it? You with us today?
Yeah, dude.
My boy. That's my boy, though.
Call me a
John
Piney.
Piney.
Yeah.
John Piney. Piney's the dude from Sons of Anarchy. What you call it? Yeah, dude. I'm not with all that shit that eats. You know. Anyway, so you're in Jersey now. You're in school. How was school over there?
Nice actually.
You had good schools.
Yeah,
like, schooling was
good schooling out there. Good. Not a lot of riffraff. A lot of sports. You know.
Because you look like a motherfucking intelligent dude. You know what I'm talking about? That like
That's I wear it well.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Everybody I know that has longer hair on top that combs it, at least looks intelligent. I don't know if they are, but I'm saying they look.
Works for me.
But you're doing pretty good for yourself. So you're
Yeah.
an intelligent dude. You know what I mean?
Works for me. Yeah.
But so the school was good.
Yeah, schooling is good. A lot of sports out there. You know, I did sports all through my childhood. Like I said, there wasn't too much else, so I got lucky where it's like you see the movies like Remember the Titans, things, and like the whole town's about the
Oh,
sports.
really?
That's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
You know, not that intense, obviously, but you know, it was very, very good community spirit. Kind of, we didn't have much.
That's
to do.
South Jersey. South Jersey got good football, right? And good wrestling.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I had cousins that were from like Woodbury, West Effort, like that area.
oh yeah.
Yeah. They played football and all that shit.
There's a couple of schools we always hated going up against because they were good.
Yeah. Well, they got
Yeah.
good football teams and shit.
Yeah.
You know? How was your family life growing up though? Like, was it like since you did good school, you know, you're a good athlete at the time, playing different, you know.
You know, I used to harp on it a lot more than necessary, but like it wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best either. You know, my parents fought a lot. My dad drank a lot at the time, and you know, now doing that to my family, and you know, previously it's like now I know that it wasn't really him doing it. But it caused a lot of
But
turbulence.
he drank a lot, so
He drank a lot, and you know, she'd send us in to go wake him up, and you know, so we'd get the hits and like things like that. And but
you have siblings?
I had one brother.
Okay.
One brother.
We
Yeah.
just going together?
And we take turns.
What, really?
Yeah.
You take your ass whooping,
take
switch it
turns.
up a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah. So, yeah, it wasn't the best. So that's why anytime I talk about it, I'm always grateful that there was so many outside things because it's like I didn't have to be there.
Yeah.
And anytime I wanted, it was just, you know, go ride your bikes or go out and just get lost in the woods for 7 hours, come home when the street lights are on, and that's it. I walk in, my mom cooked dinner every day, God bless her, eat dinner.
She had to deal with him all day. Or was he working? What did
He
do
was
for a
working.
living?
Yeah, he was working. And then not only working during the day, he came home and then he had a second job at night. He delivered pizza for like 20 some years. He just liked doing it,
Mhm.
you know? So just, you know, it's the in-betweens and the weekends, and it's rough,
Yeah.
rough. And I can't imagine what it was like from her side too. So, you know, as they say, shit rolls downhill. And
What did he do during the day for a living?
he works for the state.
Okay.
So
Good job.
yeah, he had a good job. He's coming up on retirement currently, which is good. God bless him. You know, 30 some years over there.
Does he still drink?
No, so
I'm going a little fast, but yeah. I mean,
no, it's fine.
yeah.
So here's the thing, and you know, when I came into this and I actually learned like what alcoholic was and things like that, I always truly thought he was an alcoholic of the hopeless variety. And it was about a year and a half ago, he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and wouldn't you know that he stopped?
What kind of cancer?
Stage 4 colon cancer spread to his
Sorry to hear that.
his liver, his kidneys, esophagus, a couple other places. But you know, it says in the book, you know, if some medical necessity pops up, it's like I've never been able to stop, and I always thought he was just like me. And like, lo and behold, something pops up, and they say, you got to stop drinking, and he stops.
Is he still sick?
Yeah, he's going through treatment. He's responding well so far,
Really?
so we're hopeful.
Yeah.
But every time I see him, he's in good spirits.
Really?
So
Okay.
he's hopeful.
Is he religious now or anything, or
No,
just
he
right? Just your dad still, but just not drinking no more.
just not drinking. Still amazes me. But
Yeah, damn.
yeah,
And him and your mom are still together.
no, they got a divorce. Probably 20 years ago now. I was like 14, 15, something like that.
Okay.
But it was one of those things where, like, even back then, I remember thinking, because they did the whole broke the news to us, your dad and I, and like me and my brother looked at each other, we were like, thank God.
Really?
Yeah.
Why you
like,
stay with your mom?
It was it was just the two of them together. It was like two negative sides of a magnet. It was just always. So like when, I guess 14, 15, I'm starting to far from an adult, but I'm starting to see things a little bit differently, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, good.
Yeah.
So it wasn't one of those like earth shattering things where we're like, oh, thank God. So it'll be a little bit calmer around here.
What age did you start using around? Like
So,
drinking or whatever? Is that where you started out with alcohol?
No, I started, smoking weed with the guys after school and things like that before soccer practice, and wrestling, before wrestling practice. And my coach always used to yell at us because he had a trach too from smoking. And
Who, the coach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked. He was always like that. It was,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
he was hard ass. And me and my buddy Stan used to always like fly past everybody for like the warm up laps and stuff. So we
Yeah.
go outside, smoke a cigarette before practice, and he's like all the time.
Yeah,
But,
because you
like,
got a trach and
yeah,
you're around.
dude,
He's
it's
like,
like But yeah, I started out with that, and it was actually sophomore year of high school.
now what age is that?
I was 15.
15 and
Yeah.
sophomore?
Yeah, I was 15, about
You
to
looking
be
at John?
coming up on 16, and I was on my way to school.
Bro,
in
I
the
never
morning.
went through high school. So what's the first year of high school? 9th grade. What would that be? Freshman?
Freshman. I
Yeah.
was.
So that I only want to be a freshman and never even. So what? I'm not
guess-
asking being it funny. Like I wrote.
No, I
out,
think
yeah.
I was 14. I
So
think
14?
freshman year. So sophomore year, I was 15, 16,
Yeah.
depending on what month. But so I was on my way to school sophomore year, and it was in a head-on car collision. Guy ran a red light, hit us head on,
Oh, wow.
and I got severely banged up. I got face smashed, my whole forehead smashed in, nose, top jaw broken off my skull. This was all
Really?
mangled.
Damn.
A lot of other stuff. I got banged up pretty
Yeah,
good.
but wait, what? So dude hit you guys?
Yeah,
Driving this what? Where were you going?
to school. I was
To school?
2 minutes away from school,
And dude smoked you.
dude smoked us right at the
Almost
red
killed
light.
you.
Yeah.
Killed everybody or you? Just you almost died?
No, I was the only a-hole not wearing a seatbelt, and I was sitting behind the driver, and I ended up smushed in between the windshield and the dashboard. So what I hit my face on, I'm not really sure, but it was one of those two things. And
Probably everything.
yeah, so I got medevac to the hospital, all that, and they did revive me at some point. I don't remember much. They kept me in a coma for that first week.
So you were dying.
I was dying. I had a severe injury, and so yes, when I started drinking, that's when I was really thrown into it.
Now, why did the dude crash into you?
He was on his cell phone, ran a red light.
Oh, that's it?
Just not paying
No,
attention.
not intoxicated.
He was on his way to work.
Holy shit!
So our passenger headlight hit his driver headlight, so almost head on, but like kind of just kissed off. And like I said, the other two girls were in the front seat, and they were both bucking, little bumps and bruises and this and that. And I got rocketed into the
seatbelt on.
So I wear a seatbelt now. And
everywhere.
Yeah, and it's like one of those hard lessons because I don't listen to anything else. But so through all that, I got introduced to. I can talk about whatever, right?
You can talk about absolutely anything.
I was on Percocets and OxyContin.
Yeah.
And so I wake up, and the first thing I remember in the hospital is them resetting my ankle because they had to break it back into place, and then the rest is kind of blurry. Like I said, they kept me in a coma for the first week to let the swelling go down before they could even do surgery.
So what was your brain bleeding and everything?
Yeah.
Really?
So yeah,
Wow.
my olfactory lobe in the front of my head got smashed, so I didn't have a sense of smell for like 12 years.
Wow.
A couple contusions on the back. I was leaking spinal fluid. A lot.
Really?
I got mangled. So now my
He said I got mangled.
I got mangled, dude.
I'm
It's like
laughing now. You got me laughing.
it's dude.
You know
I
what I'm
used
saying? I'm
to.
a fucked up dude. Nah.
No.
Yeah. He said I got
Yeah,
mangled.
I remember sitting up in the hospital because like
Wow.
I didn't really know. The last thing I remember is getting in the car in the morning, and the next thing I know, I'm sitting up in the hospital bed. I'm like, what?
I would have
Like,
never imagined though. Like
He did it.
like your yeah.
The guy did a great job.
He probably made you look better than you did before you got an accident.
Probably,
You
and
know what I'm
that's
saying?
because I actually went back for a second. So the first time they used like this new bone graft material. It was like the hot shit.
Yeah, back
And-
then, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so if if anybody, there's a little scar.
Little dimple, I see it. Now
So-
I just noticed it
So
right now.
that's
though, as
where
I'm-
that shit started coming out. My body rejected it. So
Really?
a year later,
Wow.
they had to open it back up, take all that out, and now everything's
So they took chunks of bone from, I guess, what, somebody else, or was it from you, the bone?
No, it was like some new
Cadaver?
synthetic.
Oh.
It was some new synthetic crap they had, and they were trying it out. And I guess I don't know. For me, it didn't go that well. But
Damn.
so yeah, I went back a year later, and they took it all out. Now it's all metal and mesh and all that.
So everybody knows, though, I'm on this side. I know you probably, people did that watching it, but I look like I got something hit me off of my left light, skimmed off kissing my damn head because my shit is like, I tried to get a social for it. I was like, yeah, you know. But yeah, now my head, I wore a hat, dude. My head, whatever. Anyway, who cares? But yeah, so dude, so then, holy shit, dude. So now you're on OxyContin.
hmm
It gets rejected. They got to do another operation, and at
Yep.
this point now, what are you
So
taking it as prescribed though?
yeah, so in the beginning, taking it as prescribed. I went through a couple months. My head was I had my mouth wired shut for like 4 months, and I slept in this piece of Swiss cheese because I'm asleep. I can't lay on my face, and
What's a piece of Swiss cheese? What do you mean?
it was some weird pillow thing.
Oh, so like your
where it was
it
like
wasn't
I
on-
had to fish my arm and shoulder through it so they could lock it around my head, so that I didn't like put
Really?
pressure on my face while it was healing. And it's just, dude, what
almost like a weird airplane pillow.
the weirdest thing
Yeah.
ever. But like, it was just
That's
awful.
insane, bro.
And I ate through. It was funny because I ate through this.
That's fucking nuts.
It was like a big like. You ever see those turkey pasties? You inject like gravy in the turkey.
Yeah.
It was like one of those with a rubber hose. And I used to fish it through my cheek around my back teeth, and that's how I used to eat because I couldn't chew anything.
Yeah.
But it was like halfway through that, to where,
Are you home at this point though? Now,
yeah,
with
I'm
the pillow and all
home.
that?
I'm with my mom. My aunt came to help take care of me.
So what's your
and,
mom loading this fucking straw up thing and,
Mhm.
and yeah,
Yeah,
mom stuck by you.
mom wrote it out, man. She
Yeah.
took care of me really, really good. So they, her and my aunt Karen, they nursed me back to health, and it was beginning of senior year. I had great.
What senior? Last year of high school?
Yeah, high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what? You were banged up for years.
It happened. It happened at the end of sophomore year. It was May of sophomore year, so I had like a month left of school, something like that. So I missed that. I had great teachers. They came, homeschooled me while I was banged up, and so I didn't miss anything.
So what's a freshman, junior, sophomore?
Freshman, sophomore,
senior,
junior, senior. So I went back junior year while I was healing, and the whole time, I'm on my meds, and it's doctor prescribed, and I was taking them as prescribed in the beginning, and then so in the meantime, I'm still like smoking, drinking on the weekends, this and that, and it turned when I went back to go, because like I said, my forehead's my body started rejecting what they had in there, so I used to get my forehead used to swell, and so.
It was irritating you. Yeah.
So I went back, and like they're like, it's all infected. We gotta open you back up, dude. And I cried because like I just finished all that shit.
Yeah, you're like,
and
oh,
we
fuck
gotta
it,
go right
yeah.
back. And
Right, you were homeschooled sophomore and junior year?
just through the summer between sophomore and junior, I had
What you had to like catch up, kind of. Like,
yeah, I had a great sweetheart teacher came and homeschooled me once or twice a week.
Uh-huh.
What was her name?
No. No, what'd you say? What?
Sweet-
Oh, a sweetheart.
Yeah, sweetheart
a lady,
teacher.
a nice
Yeah.
lady, a
Nice lady.
I didn't know what you said. I was like, well,
Yeah.
what?
Nah, she was a sweetheart, and just so I didn't get left behind, you know what I mean. So I finished the curriculum and picked up because then I had all summer to heal, and when I went back in the fall, I was
Were you toasted though on the oxys and shit, or nah? It wasn't really.
not yet.
Like, well, oxy what though?
I was getting oxycodone 15s, oxycontin 10s, and then like Valium, Vicodin, and things like that.
Like,
Just,
yeah,
yeah,
they call it breakthrough medication.
I was doctor shopping because after
Oh,
a while,
really?
I caught on. Like toward the end, like my foot's fine. They cut the cast off. This is all gone. My hair's growing back. I'm starting to feel good again. And the thing happens that I, now know as withdrawal. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a flu, this and that, and so I used to sit in the basement.
But if you were taking medicine, would you start taking your own medicine? Like your mom was letting you take your own medicine, basically, and you were acting like you were taking it.
Yeah, because I started to get, toward the end, like, I don't know, my experience with pain meds is like when you actually need them, I don't get the euphoria. So towards the end, when I didn't really need it for the pain anymore, I started to get that euphoria, that, that drunk feeling, you know what I mean? And so once I figured out what that was, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is during Oxycontin era, too.
Yeah, 2000, I'm 2007, 2008, I'm right prime time, doctor shopping and all that. And
yeah, they should give you a check for getting you all sauced up as a kid on fucking Oxycontin.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't get a check from the settlement they just gave out to everybody?
No.
Yeah, they cheated you. You don't need it anyway. You ain't worried about that.
Better
You're
off-
sober today,
better
baby.
off
You know what
without
I'm talking
it,
about? He's
yeah.
sober today. You don't need that
none of
shit.
that. So it was, so I remember very clearly, and anytime I talk about it, I share my story too. It was, I'm sitting on the pre-op table. They just shaved my head again and like all that stuff. I'm getting ready to go in, and they're giving me Tylenol 3s. And I'm like, yeah, this ain't cutting it. And she gives me Percocet. I'm like, this ain't cutting it. And then they finally come in the third time around, it's like hours later with the IV.
Yeah, the water.
And when that went in, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And I remember at that time, like I was thinking, I didn't know nothing about this. I didn't know about alcoholism, addiction, none
You
of
knew
that.
you felt funny. You didn't know you were getting hooked on
I knew
drugs.
that's what I was looking for. That feeling that I got right there, I was like,
Did you know, though, that you were hooked on the drugs at this point?
I had an inkling that it might be an issue.
You really? Yeah.
Only because, like I said, my dad drank a lot when I was younger.
Well, and you're swallowing pills every fucking
And I'm
couple
eating
hours.
pills, and my buddies are getting into, I had my own, so I didn't really need to go out and about yet. And like my buddies are starting to take them, and they're starting to buy them on the streets and this and that. And so when I'd run out, I get a couple from them. But it's like in the beginning, it was very toned down. It wasn't really out of control yet. And I remember it was after the second surgery. The recovery time was a lot quicker because they did a lot less. That's when I really kicked off. I was 17, 18. And that's when, they cut me off. And then I really went around ear, nose, and throat doctors, this and that. It's like the thing, I was getting perks from everybody. Like,
Really?
I was.
Yeah, because back then they just would give you them. Yeah.
And it's a small town. I knew the pharmacist, so it wasn't like, whatever. And I was 19, I got a settlement from that. And when I was 19, I got my first check, and then I was buying months of other people's, like when they come in, all of it, all of that, and like things just really took a turn, and I burned through a lot of money very quickly. So, which opened me to heroin. It was a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And I was watching people, like, my girlfriends at the time, I say girlfriends, but they were just people that would tolerate me.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm spending hundreds and thousands of dollars, and like I'm watching them spend like $80, and I'm like, what's that about? So that's kind of when I switched over, and that's when shit got really bad. Not quickly. I held a job for years. I always showed up for work. I was able to do that at some level. Now, quality of work, couldn't tell you. But at least I was there. And, I worked out in Pennsauken. So I was stone's throw from Camden. It's like I found out very quickly where to go, what to get out, before work, lunch break, after work.
Now, at this point, what are you, like 20, 21?
Like, 2021. Yeah, 2021. Because that's where I met my girlfriend at the time, now wife.
Yeah.
Um, knew her for 2 months, and she was warned about me because it's a small town.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody
we
knows
saw
everybody,
that. Yeah.
and so she was warned about me, and I just came off a long term. She just came off a long term, so we were kind of each other's rebounds. But then the first night I stayed over, I didn't leave because I didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, yeah,
So I was
yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of like that unwelcome guy. It's like, all right, well, it's getting late. I'm like, yeah, I know, we should order lunch. Like, yeah, I just wouldn't leave.
We should order the lunch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I just took her hostage from day one, and 2 months later she got pregnant, and I was like, all right, well, I thought it was God's will that I was a pillhead and that I was a opiate user, and that it was my job because I was a plumber to do service work, and I thought it was God's will that He put me in bathrooms with medicine cabinets. Like I thought,
Oh, you're stealing people's shit.
oh,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
How
So,
dare you?
dude,
No, I'm just kidding.
animal,
I would've did that
dude.
shit
Like I
already.
said, I thought that was.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even think about it. You just do it like you're supposed to.
Yeah,
I
I
get it.
figure I'm supposed to be in here anyway. I might as well check, make sure everything's all right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Make sure to You
Yeah.
don't want them to have too many oxycontins. Or
Yeah,
anything in
that's
their
dangerous.
cabinet.
Don't they know that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You got to
Yeah.
make sure look out for people.
That's it. I'm just, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Service.
Wow. Yeah. So at this point, you're a full blown drug addict.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I remember.
Now
Yeah.
you said pregnant. Now how many kids you have?
Just one.
Just one kid.
Yeah, just one. So she got pregnant, and I've been kind of waiting for. I got little things, shoplifting, defying trespassing for going back after they banned me. Like little things like that.
Back where?
Walmart.
Oh, going back to the store
Yeah.
you stole from?
Yeah,
Again?
they banned me, and then I went right back and stole more shit. So then I got
What, they lock you up for trespassing for that?
not back then. They do now.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
I guess because of people like me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so she got pregnant, and like somewhere in my mind, I was like, all right, clock's ticking. Like now I got to get my shit together.
Yeah.
Got a kid coming. I got to be a father. Let me get my life together. And so we moved. She was still at her mom's. We got a place out in Maple Shade, and it's like 9 months. Came and went like that. And next thing I know, I'm. We're at the hospital, and their water breaks, and they put her in the delivery room, and I leave because I got to go get what I need to get to get ready for my daughter to come in this world. And like, through the grace of God, I didn't miss the actual event itself, but it's like, I remember I was out because my daughter was born at Cooper Hospital in Camden.
Yeah.
And so I left off 3 blocks down
So
the
they were
road.
prepping her, and you were prepping yourself.
Yeah, I was prepping me.
You
Yeah.
had to get ready.
So I remember pulled over, dude, and like I was just parking up to go out and walk somewhere real quick, and I get out of my car, and like I turn around and close the door, and I see the cop just sitting right behind me. I'm like, oh, dude, my stomach just dropped. And he goes, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Dude, you know where the hospital is?" And he goes, "Get the fuck back in your car. Don't even." Like I was like, "All right, thank you, sir." And get back in the car and just drove back. So I didn't get what I wanted to get, and I wasn't sick yet, but in the recovery room afterwards, it's like my wife was giving me hers so that I could not be cold sweating, shaking. She just went through, labor and delivery, not me. And here I am, inside of the room.
It's a true story, dude. I did that. I did that.
Yeah.
They told me to get out.
Yeah.
They told me to get out of the damn hospital, dude, because they knew something wasn't right.
Yeah.
But when they would go to give her medicine, like they would be like, "Can you step outside, sir?"
Yeah.
And they would make sure she was taking it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And yeah, dude, yeah, it was fucked up. Yeah, I did it. Yeah, it makes you feel like shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That shit ain't cool. But
no,
nowadays, we got hearts. But back then, like I didn't give a fuck.
No.
Not then. At that moment,
Nope.
I was like, "What? What do you mean? What you're taking? What? Like you know what I mean? Like I need that."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's terrible, bro. And did she have it natural or?
Yeah.
Yeah, So my son Ryan, when my first kid was born, she got a C-section. So yeah,
right.
It's bad news, bro. You're all stitched up, and I'm like, yo, give me that. I need that.
Yep.
And they're blue Percocet 5s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Wow, man. Like yeah.
That's That's
Yeah.
what this does,
Yeah, you're a
right?
great guy, bro. Huh.
That's
No,
what
I'm
this
just
does.
kidding.
Yeah,
No,
no, dude.
that's how
It's
I
like
feel though. That's how I feel though. Like inside, I'm saying, I'm like, God, man, I forgot about it. I didn't even. You just made me think of that. But I remember doing that, and I was down at Jefferson, right? Jefferson, I believe. Yeah, downtown, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, I was a fucking knucklehead, dude.
yeah,
But so, and that's why I always share honestly. Like when you hear me, like that shit I said the other night, even
yeah.
like me bullshitting people, dude, is not going to fucking help me get
Don't
better.
work. Yeah.
Nah,
No.
like you, like telling the truth. Like you, and you would say this anywhere you went. You're not
Anyway.
because you know who you are today. But me too, though. And the thing is like I'm not trying to save my face with other people. I need to fucking look in the mirror and say to myself, like, yo, I got to be honest about shit.
Absolutely.
Because if not, then I'm lying to myself still.
Right.
So I'm sober all this time, I'm lying to myself. So how the fuck is that going to help me?
Right.
I start believing my own lies. I know when I'm.
Oh yeah.
I try not to lie, dude, because of that shit, dude. And I mean, I'm not a saint. I'm saying I don't lie, but or whatever. Like I never lied, nothing like that. But yeah, I gotta try to be as honest as I can about every fucking thing that's going on. Because if not, my head will tell me like I was a great person,
Yeah.
and I wasn't.
Yeah.
To know that I wasn't to get to where I am, that's the only way.
Yeah.
Because if not, then I'm still living like an asshole. I could act like an asshole anyway, even trying to do the right
Sure.
thing.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
But so now you have your daughter,
So now I got my daughter.
and you're fucking.
You go to rehab. It wasn't my first time. I think it was my second time after she was born. Go to rehab.
Yo, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Because I do it. Remember, I said in the beginning, Are you looking at these questions and or no?
No.
No, you're not.
No.
Man, he's fucking good. This guy.
Am I checking all the boxes?
Yeah, you're right on.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Honestly, every time I look down, he's right on, right where. Like, but anyway.
Excellent.
So what? So you go to after this happens, you're taking her meds. You go to
So I go to rehab, and
what rehab's this?
This is
First one.
This is Lighthouse down in Mays Landing. It's
I heard of it.
It's RCA now.
Yeah.
I was there before us.
Oh,
So
okay.
of course I was like, man, I'm old school, bro. Like
RCA bought it.
Yeah. I always thought I was cool. I went there, went Post House, I went to Maryville, and went to Sunrise, went to Carrier Clinic, went to RCA, and then like I've been to a lot.
Yeah.
Like I'm far from a first time winner, and it's like every time I went back, I just learned a new technique that I thought I could manage with.
You had good insurance.
So I was covered under my dad in the beginning because he worked for the state. So I had it wasn't primo insurance, but I was far from state-run places. You know what I mean? I had pretty sweet in the beginning.
Yeah, you're lucky. Yeah,
And
that's
then-
good though. That's good.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing wrong with it. Like
No.
people like, them people that got their private and like, usually them people have family members that are either got a good job or they have a good job and like they're allowed to go to a good rehab if they can, their insurance will pay for it. That's ridiculous to even. So, but yeah, me, I got always stuck at like some taped up like carpet, like Kirkbride, like some bullshit. But whatever. But I got sober this time with no rehab. So go figure. All these fucking rehabs, I get sober without no rehab. But I cold turkey for 19 days.
I mean, that's the only thing it ever did for me was, regardless whether I had my own bed or whether there was bunk beds, the only thing it ever did for me was separate me from the drug.
Now, do you suffer? This is a do you suffer from any mental health or anything, depression, anything like that, or
no?
No.
That's
good. No,
I have no diagnosis.
And this, it does attack a lot of people. Me personally,
I'm one of the guys who leaves rehab with, you sit me in front of the psych guy, and I'm like, oh yeah, dude, terrible nightmares. I got anxiety. I can't stop my mind. It's just so give me whatever, whatever, I get as much as I can.
Couple piddle paddles.
This ain't working. And it's like, I leave with a litany of rehab meds that I figure out how to time. To where if I take this one at 45, then 37, then 22, and all of them hit at the same time, and I'll get that 5 minute like lightheadedness.
Have you ever been on maintenance?
I did, dude. I went. So I did. I can't even say I did Suboxone. And when Suboxone came out years ago, the red, the orange stop signs. I went to get a script just to sell them, and that's all I did with them. And then the only maintenance I ever did. Was Vivitrol. I did it 2 separate times. I did it the last attempt getting sober, and then this time in the beginning, I did it for 3 months in the beginning.
I think it's a wonderful maintenance.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not judging anybody that's on Suboxone or whatever. I'm just saying, but that I think that's good because you're not going through withdrawal or nothing like, from
Yeah.
like, God forbid you can't get it or feel, the last thing, the whole point of it is so you don't pick back up. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you don't want to feel sick. So I think
Absolutely.
Vivitrol is very good for that. If you can do that, you know what I mean? Some people they feel like from people I talk to that they need to feel something just to keep that edge off of them wanting to go feel something that they shouldn't be trying to go feel.
Yeah.
So, and then
I get
so
it.
whatever. But yeah, so you go to all these rehabs, because we could get. I mean, I'm probably all them. You talking about a lot
Yeah,
of
we're sitting here
different
forever. Yeah. So the main two highlights is like, so when my daughter's 3 years old, I'm still in and out of rehab, still getting in trouble, still, all dumb shit at this point.
Yeah.
My daughter's 3 years old. I take her out to Camden with me on Christmas Eve. I get locked up for the first time for
with your daughter with you.
second degree child endangerment.
Is it you and her?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's just me and the
Oh,
kiddo,
wow.
and
Yeah.
I had her in the car seat, and like that's what I'm capable of. And not only that, I did it again.
Like, were they coming to meet you in the car, or were you getting out?
I
and
parked.
leaving her in the car?
I parked on the corner to get out to walk down the block. Still
Yeah,
eyesight of the
I get
shot,
it.
but
Yeah.
still,
You made mistakes, bro. People make
yeah.
mistakes.
And so I did it again. First time they let me go home. Second time they didn't let me go home.
Really?
So
The cop caught you and was like, "Yo, dude, get the fuck out of here."
No, I got in and processed for the first one, and like I didn't really have a record at that time, so it was just for having her with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Probably
So
pissed the cop off. Yeah.
oh yeah, the sergeant and the lieutenant, everybody's screaming in my screaming in my face, dude, and it's like, all right. So then they let me go, and I walked 3 blocks. I didn't tow the truck yet, and I still had shit under the mat.
You were ready to get high. You were
I was
thinking
right-
the whole
dude, I
time,
was
if they let me
right
go,
back.
I'm getting high.
Mom came to go pick her up from the police station, and took her home. And you're never gonna see your kid again. And everybody's yelling at me, tell me what a terrible dad I am. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm part of the best dad. What are you talking about? So I did it again a year later, and they didn't let me go home that time. And I got introduced to something I never did.
How old were you at this point?
24, 25?
25.
Yeah, probably 25. So I had a couple warrants from a couple different counties, just like failure to appear. You know what I mean, like little stuff. And then I get caught for this one, and here's where this takes me. The last thing I remember getting caught the second time is strapping my daughter into, like you get little girls like the
What were you buying though up to this point? Like, to where you said, now I tried this different stuff. Like, what were you buying? You were still doing oxys and shit like that and all?
mostly heroin.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just caught what you were
Mostly
saying.
heroin,
Yeah.
sprinkling Xanax, Valium,
Yeah,
whatever I
got you.
can to
I
kick it
understand
off. So I remember.
You got to understand something. I got sober before fentanyl hit the streets heavy.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, whatever. But yeah, so you're doing heroin.
Yeah.
Real heroin.
Yeah.
Real heroin.
Still real heroin.
And they catch you.
They caught me. The last thing I remember is strap my daughter into one of those little play tubs that you have for like baby dolls for kids. I like get a little girl like a baby doll, and you get to play wash bin to wash the baby doll in.
Yeah.
That's what I put my daughter
Like a
in
wash
for a car
for
seat.
A baby, but for a toy.
Yeah,
and for a toy.
Well, that's what I used as our car seat.
Really?
Yeah, and that's the last thing I remember. Strap her in the backseat of those, and I wake up and I'm in jail, and they still had segregation for the first 7 days back then. So I wake up and they had the bail slip to fill out back then. And so I filled it out and requested reduction and sent it. And a day later came back and they doubled it. So the last thing.
Double what? The bail?
The bail. So
wow.
So the last thing I remember is put my daughter in the car, and the next thing I remember is waking up in a jail cell, not knowing what I did. And
so you don't even know what's going on at this point.
Because I'm sure they told me, but I wasn't.
So you have no clue though exactly what happened.
I have no clue.
So you're worried at this point. You're like,
hell yeah, I thought I killed somebody. Thought I killed my daughter. I didn't know what was going on. So, fast forward, I'm in there for a little while, and eventually get everything consolidated, and declared homeless, and they send me up to Patterson for long-term inpatient because I signed for. So at first I wasn't gonna do the whole drug court thing, and I'm like, whatever, I'll eat it 3 flat, like on my head, you know what I mean? Like being a real tough guy, and I get in there and I had 14 years written down on the paper, and I was like, drug court. Like,
really?
Where do I sign? Like, I wasn't willing to do that. Yeah, kids, man, they don't play around.
Yeah. Not serious. Yeah, it is serious.
Yeah,
You know, I'm thinking of it too. At the same time, telling the story. I mean, I'm really fucking thinking like, yo, this is some serious shit.
yeah.
I mean, and obviously, I ain't gonna tell you. I mean, you don't even agree with what you were doing.
No,
So,
no.
people watching should be like, damn, that's fucked up. You know, what I mean?
And that's the
It's
thing.
just normal. That's a normal thought.
I had no say in the matter.
Yeah.
You know,
No, definitely.
if she was with me, she was coming with me. That's
Yeah.
just what it was. You know, there was no going on there. So,
I get it.
you know, fast forward, drug court, all that. Go through all those ringers, child services, all that. Jump all those hoops, probation. You know, do 4 years, 10 months, graduate drug court. I made it.
Yeah.
Like I actually did graduate, and
So now at this point, you're almost 30.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. I
Give
was
or
20.
take.
Yeah, 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, 29, 30, right around there.
Yeah. Are you with the kid's mother?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
All right.
She's separate. We were separated. On and off, dude. It's hard to clarify. We
Like
were
mine,
always-
you got so that people know. Like I know who I know
Yeah.
them, but I want you to know. So I gotta ask. That's why I'm asking like that. But
Yeah, we were
yeah.
together at some points.
I didn't want you to
separated
think
at
I
some
didn't know
points.
what you're talking about. I
No,
want you
for
to know
sure,
too.
for sure.
Like,
Yeah, just to
dude,
clarify,
wow,
like
geez.
you know, she was always. She never took me to court. She never, you know, like child support and all that. She's a great woman, very, very grateful for all that. But like, you know, so we were on and off, and it's like, you know, I got in where I could fit in. You know what I mean? Whether it was with her or with somebody else, whoever would tolerate my shit at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I graduate, and I got all these things back, and all these material things. I got, you know, a car, a place. You know, I got the kiddo back, got the girl back. She comes back after we move up to North Jersey, and we're all living together. And I graduate, and not even 2 weeks later, I'm getting high again. Dude.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it says, you know, unable at certain times to bring into memory what's sufficient for us the thought of a week or a month ago. I just went through almost 5 years of, dude, I don't know what like recovery court is now, but drug court back then, holy shit, dude. Like I'm living mandatory halfway house with a full-time job where I got to do 3 IOPs a week. Plus I got drug court on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then actual court on Wednesdays while I have to hold a full-time job and do the house managers, you know, I got to do my house duties for the halfway house. And it's like, so, you know, they keep you busy. I didn't really have time to mess around. And lo and behold, you give me some free time, and that's what I do with it. I'd go right back to it without any memory of all the shit I just went through. Didn't matter.
Yeah. Without the supervision over your head, you're like, all right,
what do I do?
Game on.
Yeah. You know, so I'm back at it. And, you know, I use.
Did it mess with you though that you had that much time off of shit? Like, oh well, I didn't do it in all this time. I'll be able to control it, or was it just a?
I mean, as ridiculous as it sounds, I thought I could shoot heroin like a gentleman.
Really? Yeah. All right.
You know?
Oh, so you went right to shooting?
I went right back. There was no, I didn't, no dipping toes. It's like, you know, I went right back. And, you know, very short time. I'm, you know, fucking up the job, bills, everything goes by the wayside. You guys know what happens. And so once again, you know, it's treatments and this and that, and you know,
any overdoses throughout all this?
No,
really.
Luckily, it's never been a part of my story through, you know, through grace of God.
Yeah.
Like,
you're blessed.
With
that though, I'm saying, you know.
Well, I take that and I think like I'm a good drug addict. You know what I mean? I know how to self-diagnose, self-medicate.
Yeah, you're
ridiculous. That's
you're a using gangster. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So fast forward, you know, 2 years ish later, COVID, this and that. I use COVID as a excuse. Truth of the matter is, I got high before COVID.
Now this is coming up to the time where I met you, kind of, right?
Yeah. So you know, I'm getting high for the next year, and you know, this and that, and PUA was paying for everything, and I put everything on forbearance. I didn't pay a mortgage payment, this and that, everything pushed off. In the meantime, I'm neglecting my daughter again. I'm neglecting my wife again. You know, family, friends, forget about it. You're in the way. And it's like I found myself alone in a house that we bought in the Poconos. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Stark raving crazy.
So he's got a place up in the Poconos and you're all up there getting high by yourself.
Yeah.
Lonely as shit.
Lonely as shit.
Now where's she at the time? And
at her mother's house.
Okay.
She's at her mother's house with my kids.
What'd she say? Fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
Now through all this, was she using?
On and off.
On and off?
Yeah,
Okay.
we both were on and off. She'd go to treatment and I wouldn't, and she'd come home sober and I'd get her high, and then back forth. Vice, obviously I can't get anybody high, but if you're living with it, it's kind of hard.
I don't think I could get your wife on here, so you know what I mean. I mentioned it to her. She was like, I had to bring up Pokemon Go to her or something. You know what
Oh
I mean?
yeah, that's her key to sobriety there. Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, so all right, so you're there by yourself, and
I'm there by myself, and like I say, like real tough guys do, and shit got tough. I called mommy,
okay,
and mommy let me crash on her couch,
Oh.
and all of a sudden I got all these so along the way I caught 2 new sets of felonies, like just from doing what I do. I got caught, picking up. I was alone this time, thank God, so I learned that lesson. But so all of a sudden it's, oh mom, I need money for court costs. It's like, oh, this, that, I gotta pay fines, and one of these times, I go out and pick up, I come home, and I didn't make it home. I passed out behind the wheel. Now, mind you, all the work that I had done previously, passed out behind the wheel, rolled my wife's car 3 times. I damaged the hardware up here. I rebroke my eye socket, rebroke my nose. I broke 2 ribs, 3 compression fractures in my back, and it's like, that's where I got, and that was my, I didn't seek out a surrender. I just got to the point where I literally couldn't go on. Like I couldn't physically go get the drugs anymore. And I've driven everybody else from around me away at this point. So I was alone when that happened. And so I did that and went to treatment for the 19th time. And I started picking up a book.
Where'd you go? The treatment?
RCA in Devon.
In Devon?
Okay. Been there a couple times. I knew the staff very well.
So that's what, so bring you down this way again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So they were like, you should go to recovery house. And I was like, I own a house. Why would I go to the recovery house? And they're like, did you go back before? And I was like, yeah, a couple of times. They're like, how'd that work out? I'm like, pretty shitty. So I was like, all right, fine. So, at the time, when I came out here, when we first met, in my situation that I was seeking a divorce with my wife. Like I came out here, she was going to go do her thing. I was going to do mine. So in my mind, I was like, all right, new city, new people, new me. I get to sell whatever character I want, and make a whole new me. And, she ended up coming out here too. And all of a sudden I couldn't be fake anymore because now I know somebody's here who knows me. It's like, So doing all this, like I said, I caught two new sets of felonies coming down the line. And, I figured in my experience, more paperwork, always better to walk into court with, to hand them. So I was doing, treatment, PHP, IOP, outpatient, did all that. Not only did I do it once for a year sober, I got sentenced on my first set and they mandated me back to treatment. So I did it a second time because now I had to again. So I was in treatment for like the first 13 months, IOP out. And during that time, I got plugged in with a sponsor and we went through this book and these steps and, something happened. Despite my best efforts, I got better.
Yeah.
And I had one of the biggest moments for me to be in it. Like, so I'm at this place where I'm doing IOP, like I said, for a long time. And that's actually where I met my sponsor. And we used to meet there on Wednesdays, every Wednesday, religiously for step work. Like that's what we did. And then when he moved on, I got the opportunity of continuing that meeting on for other people. And so I did this for the next, however many months. I think it was like 9 or 10 months. And at the end of it, I called him, dude. And this is one of the biggest moments in my early sobriety. It's like I called him. I'm like, dude, I don't have not one person who's been consistently coming. I don't have one person who's still sober. I don't have like nobody, dude. No. He's like, yeah, you do. I was like, no, I just told you. I know. He goes, you. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, one of my first big gut punches. Because like you said, when we opened, man, it's like doing this keeps me sober. And that was one of my big lessons in the beginning. Stay in the middle, doing this, regardless of the results. I'm not in the results business. I'm in the doing business. You know what I mean? It's just the act of me trying to help that counts.
Well, they there's a story in the big book. I think it's like Abby or something like that. I forget. I'm not, and he's like, oh, well, everybody keeps drinking. I'm going to go out. And his wife turns over and says, like, you haven't drank.
Mhm.
from helping all these people.
Yeah.
And it's the same story.
Yeah.
In a sense, like
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're worried about who's coming and who's doing it, but you're staying sober.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I missed it. I missed the whole point. I thought it was, if I had more sponsees or more recovered people or more, I thought if I had gathered, I don't know, evidence that I'm working a program around me, that it would somehow make me sober. And I missed the whole point. Just me doing it
Yeah.
was keeping me sober, not,
Yeah,
all the
walking a
outside.
walk and living
Yeah.
living what you're going, living what you're doing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So, yeah, big moment. And so, I mean, since then, I won't go into all nitty-gritty, but that's been the guiding principle. Just stay involved, keep doing in the middle of the herd, like they say.
yeah,
Stay in the middle, have commitments. I still have a sponsor that I talk to regularly. I have sponsees that I help take through the steps. I'm still involved with other people in other meetings, whether it be a coffee commitment or a chair or whatever. Just stay in, and that's all I've been doing.
stay busy.
Stay busy.
Do the footwork to your own recovery.
That's it.
And that's helping other people.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, that's how I stayed sober all these years. You know what I mean? Just trying to, and you sponsor people. I don't sponsor nobody, but I do whatever I do. You know what I mean? I'm not, but yeah. I mean, I agree. I think there's been times when, I stood outside of meetings, the deal, you see me, and and I don't even like people are like, yo, dude, one time I went and listen to this shit. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go in and use the bathroom and get out of here at weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about to go in, and the dude and whoever the dude is, he goes, oh yeah, man, they talk about that. I said, who talks about it? What are you talking about? He's like, what? They talk about that. Like you just go in and you leave. And I went, what, dude? I said, who? I said, dude, what are you even talking? He goes, yeah, you think that's good for you? I said, I don't know. I said, well, I got a lot of time sober, dude. He goes, how much time you got? And I tell him at the time, I think I might have had 10 years, whatever. Now, this, for me, this isn't good, though, doing stuff like whatever. But and he goes, holy shit, dude, I thought you had like a year or two. I'm like, and this is you don't ever want to assume. Like, even when I first met you, like you said, like, now I get the background of like how back and forth, like you and your wife, that, and like you said, I created myself, whatever. And then she came. But dude, like I was judging, I was like at first, like when we first met each other, like you were like, we're like a studio, whatever. But we got cool. But it's just like, you don't want to prejudge people, dude, and just assume. You just assume. Like I'm an asshole if I assume. Like I don't know who people are or why they're doing what they're doing or what got them to the point that they're at. What's good for their recovery might not be good for mine. What's good for mine might not be good for them. What I did come to find out though is the longer I don't go in the meetings, like I just said that you see me outside and this and that, but I do get something out of fellowshipping and talking to people, and sometimes like 3-4 people, but it's still not an AA meeting. And what happens is after a while I go in and now I feel weird. Now I'm antsy. Now I'm looking at my phone or the clock.
Yep.
So it is very good to stay in the herd and stay in it, and it's an hour, dude. It's 1 hour, And even in my situation, I'm like, yo, you got to make 4 to 5 mandatory meetings a week. Because I say it, people don't want to do it, but it's all up to us what we do for us to stay sober with God's help, or you would say, and me, I say a higher power because I believe God is good. Good is God.
Yeah.
And I don't like to complicate it, but at the same token, though, is contributing back, dude, helping people with the hand to AA, or if somebody's involved in NA or CA or even GA or any, as long as you ain't
whatever you got.
But yeah, like I mean, fucking dude, for real, like that is the purpose of it. Is like he asked me, John, behind the camera, he said, yo, when you had a year, I think you've seen this probably on Facebook, maybe not. He said, how did you feel? And I'm like, I don't know, like, but really the reason why we go back is to show people that it works too. Now, there is times when we need it ourselves though. I go to AA because I don't want to ever use again, but I also want to show people too at the end of the day, like, it don't matter what I say. I could fucking say anything. I could recreate myself right now. You know what I mean? Even though everybody knows it. But it's what I do. Because people are going to talk about you good or bad. Don't matter. They're just going to talk shit. People just talk shit naturally. It's just the way life is.
Yeah.
But, the testimony of what we do by action is what speaks louder than any word ever could. So, A question I did want to ask you is, I asked everybody, what's 3 things in life that you stand by?
3 things that I stand by.
Now you watch my show, so
Couple.
you heard other people answer this, or no? You didn't
No.
watch it to the end.
No.
That's why I ain't getting all these click hours on my YouTube, because people like him. No, I'm just
Me,
kidding.
yeah, short
But
attention
yeah,
span.
3 things that you stand by, like you know,
As far as
like
for me, right?
yeah, like I'm saying, like for me, like it was like, you know, like work ethic was one, or whatever that may be, whatever. There's, you know, anything, whatever you want.
I hate to be cheesy, man, but pray, meditate, help other people, and it's like it's only that because it's just it's just for me. It's not if I put anything else in there before those 3, I tend to lose it.
Yeah,
And but no, I mean, a couple other things. Yeah, I mean that's really that's been the guiding force, man.
say it
That's
again
really
so people can hear it
pray,
again. Pray.
meditate, help other people.
Are you a every day do 5 things type of guy too? They say in AA that
Yeah, but at this point, I don't have to think about it. It's part of my routine. It's part of
you just
my.
live it.
That's it. It's like I downloaded the Grapevine app the other day because I wanted to read. Somebody sent me an article and it had that thing on there. It's like 5 checklists for your recovery, dude. And it was like 3 in the afternoon, and I read the checklist and I was like, oh man,
Yeah,
like
you
done.
do it. You
Like
do
done,
it,
and it's only because in the early days and I had to forcefully make myself do those things to where now it's routine. I unconsciously do it. Some days and some days I have to forcibly do it, but more often than not, it's just that's what it is now.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Yeah, man. I honestly, dude, any hobbies too?
I'm a carpenter by trade, right? And I went when we got our place right now. I made the whole basement a man cave. It's all my tools and all that stuff. I make furniture. I just started messing around with. You ever see those like a clear epoxy river tables?
Yeah.
I just started making those,
Really?
and it's like, I just stay busy, man. Like, I like.
That's just expensive, ain't it?
Oh, dude, I made tables. Little
Yeah.
coffee table. It's a week of rent. It's crazy, but keeps me busy.
How much for a coffee table?
It's probably like $400.
Really?
Yeah.
So what, to make like a table, like
It's just
a dining room table? What that would be like? What?
Oh yeah,
2,500?
yeah, probably. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. It's a lot. Yeah, that epoxy's expensive.
Yeah.
But that's what I get to do nowadays. I get to invest in. Yeah, it costs money, but it's much better than all the other dumb shit I'd be doing.
Yeah. I watch that shit. I think they're cool as shit, them tables.
It's fun. It's a learning curve, and it's like I said, we do remodeling. So like with epoxy floors and stuff, I get to practice that stuff on my own at home, and then by the time we get there to do it for somebody else, it's not like my first time doing it.
For countertops, whatever.
I'm familiar with it.
Huh.
So same thing. I do. Yeah, I do a lot of tinkering.
Well, if I had to say, dude, even with that right there, I mean, yeah, dude, if I had to say, dude, I enjoy talking to you, dude, and yeah, dude, I think it was a great episode. There's a lot of shit I didn't know. Like, I mean, the accident to the stuff with your kid, like I mean, dude, yeah, very, very good message for people that anybody can do. Anybody, if they stay sober, things could change and life could change around. You got a guy that has hobbies back in his kid's life too, right? So you're back with your wife. Everything's going fine.
Wife.
You bought a house.
Bought the house. Got the kid.
Construction company.
Seasoned dance. Got a company. Got a lot of things I would have sold myself short on.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is that don't let things discourage you. If you're watching this, if you're newly sober, like his message, my message, the reason why I do this is that if you stay sober, anything is possible, dude. That you're worth it. You deserve it. We went through hell, so we only deserve to try to do the right thing and have some have I guess nicer things. We deserve it like any regular person. I'm not saying be rich or anything like that. I'm saying like a normal life. We deserve to have a normal life because I know I lived unnormal for so long. So if you can, please don't forget to subscribe. Please, like, ring the bell notification if you haven't already. Watch us on TikTok, Instagram, follow us on Facebook, Evolution to Recovery, for all of it. And please watch it. Even if you sit down and it helps out, dude. Even if you're sitting there and you don't feel like watching it no more, restarting it, finish watching it, just letting it play, it don't matter. It helps us. It helps out more people, because the more people, then more people get to view it too.
Amen.
So, and if you can spread the word, on Facebook, if you do follow it and you see it, please share it. Please help support. That's all it is. We're asking for support. And thank you so much. Like, subscribe, ring the bell notification. Thank you. Have a great day. And thank you, Brian.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man.
Yep.